Hey guys, and welcome back to Shines 15. Today we're going to be greasing the crank bearing in this Skidoo 600 SDI. I believe the 800s are the same. They started that in I think 03 or so with the 6 and 800s, where they use the Isoflex grease in the bearings instead of having your crank bearings lubricated by your fuel and oil mixture going through the crankcase. Anyways, it's common that if these motors get hot, it'll burp the oil out of the seal and it'll go out, and then you ruin your crank bearings and you'll seize them. So it is on the mag side too, and the PTO side. You can do the mag side. You got to pull a bunch of crap apart to get to it. They sell kits that you can install, some buddy kits that are good. Most guys will just do the PTO side because it gets hot. And it's the one that's most prone to fail. So that's what we're going to do. Anyways, enough rambling on. I pulled off my side panel for clarity of the video. You're going to need a clutch puller, 21mm socket for your primary clutch bolt. So pull that out. I got a clutch puller from Royal Distributing. The part number is 12164 18 is the number. That's for your TRA clutches on your Skidoos. Anyways, we're going to need to pull this off, and then we're going to get to the procedure of what we're going to do. Clean out the old grease, put the new stuff in. You're going to need a new crank seal, which I got from Skidoo. And you're going to need your 50mm tube or 50-gram tube of Isoflex grease that goes into it. It's expensive stuff, guys. There is alternatives that guys use. It's kind of a catch-22 if it's going to work or not. For me, I know you could buy grease that's maybe $10 for a big tube of it, where you spend 60 bucks on this little guy. But I know that this is the proper stuff that's supposed to be in here, and I'm not going to worry about it. And if this motor would ever blow up or the crank bearing would seize if I used different grease, I would never forgive myself, because that's a costly mistake. Anyways, we're going to get going on this, and we'll start by pulling off the primary clutch. I just put my clutch on. I haven't torqued it on yet, just to move it in from the trailer, so it'll be easy to come off. As you can see. Alright guys, next you take a 4mm Allen key and you put it on there. These are very, very common to strip, so I would recommend using a hand impact like this. I put my impact bit, or I put my bit in the end and then give it a twist. I've already hammered on these and cracked them loose. On my fourth one here, it didn't want to come loose, guys. It started to strip. So what I did was I took a T30 Torx. They're very soft bolts, just a bit up from the T4, number 4 Allen key, and I put it on there instead of drilling it out right away, and I just hammered it in, because your Torx is pretty well the shape of an Allen key, but it's got the little tits on it. So you put that in there and ram it in, just a trick, and it'll break it loose. So there we go. I'll have to get a new bolt for there. But anyways, pull out these 4 bolts, and then this will come loose. There we go. As you can see, that grease is black. It should be white. So we're going to get some paper towels in there. I'm not going to wipe it off of here because I don't need to, because we're getting a new seal. I assume you could probably reuse this seal, guys. Anyways, we're gonna get to wiping that out. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are nice and clean in there now. I got everything out. As you can see, when I was brake cleaning it, I would try and go right in there, between all the the cages, and you could see all this stuff flying out right here, all this crud in here. That all came out, so that's good. That's what we want. Before I go to slide on this crank seal, you're basically compressing into an area without a vent, and you're going to have an air pocket, and it's going to want to shoot your grease out around your seal. Right here, you see this elbow here, there's a little cap on it. I've already pushed on mine a little bit with a screwdriver. I'm going to push on it the rest of the way and take that off. Anyways guys, a lot of guys use a syringe for this to push it right into the bearing. I'm just going to push on the edge of with the tube here because I don't have a syringe, and we're going to go around and just fill that bearing right up. I'm going to add, you're going to want to dry this with just by blowing on it, or using an air compressor with compressed air to make sure that all your brake cleaner has dried out of there, and it's not going to be in the bearings before you put your Isoflex in. So guys, I'm just squeezing, as you can see, the lumps, and it's pushing back in there. It's working really good. Alright guys, so I've went around with the tube, and then I injected it as much as I could, and it was going right back in there really nice. And then now I've been going around like this, and it'll push that in there slowly, guys. If you don't have a syringe, it's going in. I can feel it going in. It's slowly going down. You want to make sure you get all 50 grams in there. Just work your way around. It'll slowly go in. And so on. Get it the best you can, and then we're gonna get to putting our seal on. I just got the seal, and I'm just putting some grease on the inner seal because that's what rotates on there. The outer seal I'm going to leave dry, and we can just start by going on here and getting it lined up and evenly pushing it on. So there, the outside lips of our seal have hit all the way around, which is what we want, because then it'll force the grease in there. So I've got my seal on and it's sealed. It's hard to get through because you're trying to force that grease through there. So I cleaned off my retainer here. So I'm gonna get that back on and use the bolts as an aid to pulling it in slowly. Alright guys, so I got those all tightened down evenly. I ended up reusing this because those Torx heads are good there, and I can't find any in town right now apparently, so I'm just going to reuse that for now. I just got it snugged in nice and tight, and the Torx head worked fine, so I'm going to put that on my list to get a new one for next time. But for now, I tightened that in nicely. I'm not sure if there's a Torx spec on those or not. I'm going to look, but I just snugged them up. But anyways guys, so since I pulled off that nipple there, it actually shot out some grease. You can see it right there. See it laying right there on the engine mount? As I was tightening this in, you could, all of a sudden it went and puked out a bunch of grease there. So it's the nice old gray black stuff. So that's good. We want that out of there. And then some white stuff came out of there too. So that's what we want. And that's why I opened that, because otherwise you're just gonna squirt grease out around the edge of your seal, and it's not gonna pack through your bearing. So there we go, that basically packed our bearings. That was my idea behind it, and it looks like it has worked. Alright, with our clutch reinstalled, You're going to want to torque this, guys. There's all kinds of different torque specs for this. Some guys say 70 to 75. Some guys say to do 66 to start. Then take your sled off the ground, rev it up a couple times, which I'm not going to do in this garage because it'll be smoky as all hell. So what I'm going to do, the manual says 89 foot-pounds, so my torque wrench is in increments of 2, so I just set it at 90. Some guys say 95, so I'm going to 90. But anyways, what I do, I don't have a clutch holder for these, so I take a really soft piece of cedar like this. This is a 2x6. Put it underneath here and get it wedged evenly on my ring gear, because it will push down on your pan here before it hurts your teeth, in my experience. And we can torque this thing. So you still have to hold your clutch a bit, but it'll help wedge it in there so you can get it torqued and not break it or strip any teeth. So there, as you can see, it's pulling through. I'm going to 90. There we go, there's 90. I'll just back this off now. There we go, we got some nice ring gear marks in there, and I wouldn't do this with a piece of hardwood, guys. I always use a piece of softwood. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. I tried not to ramble on too much, but give you a good amount of information there. As you can see, that's just my torque spec, or how I do it. Use it to your discretion if you want to do that or not. I've never had an issue with it. Anyways, like I said, I torque mine to 90. Then I'm going to go for a little ride here. Then I'll come back, put that block in, and I'll check it again. And everything else, throw your belt guard back on, your side panel, and you're good to go. That 50 grams of grease that you put in there, guys, like I said, open up that vent, make sure that's off, because it'll push it right through there, and that's what you want. And if you don't do that, it can blow out your inner seal, because there's 2 seals there around your bearing, and you don't want that at all. So anyways, do that, and there you go. That's how to change Isoflex grease in Skidoo 600 SDI. Should be the same on the 800s, guys. I hope this video helped, and happy riding this year, and hopefully this keeps your motor alive for longer. Alright guys, so we just got in from taking this thing for a little spin down the driveway and back. I just retorqued my clutch. It actually did tighten up a bit, so that's good. I do believe, since I did pack quite a bit of grease on there, that it's good to leave that open and go for a rip with it open, just even 2 minutes or whatever, and see if any grease comes out, and then put it back on, because you are putting more grease in there than you're supposed to, really, and you don't want to have it blow out your seal. Alright guys, so I just wanted to put this in here because there is a lot of misleading information online. I don't know what to believe myself, really. Some guys say take that 50-gram tube, get as much in there as you can. You want everything in there. Clean out that bearing, fill that thing with 50 grams, slap that seal in, tighten her up, and call her good. Then there's other guys that say put a vent line on that nipple and let it vent, which I don't think is a terrible idea, but this sled has went 13,000 K without it, so I didn't. But I do believe that my idea of having the actual tube, the cap on that tube off to let it vent when you're squishing that grease in, because you don't want to ruin that inner seal and shoot grease into your crankcase, because then your engine would have to come apart to fix that, obviously. And I did think that maybe it was a little bit overpacked, because some guys say only put in 30 grams, 40, not 50. Some say 25. Like I said, it's a catch-22, and that's why I want to put this little piece into this video after the fact of making it. And just to say that I did put the 50 in, and I didn't want it to blow out anything, so that's why I took it for that little spin down my driveway, and it blurbed some grease out, and then I came back and put that cap on. I feel that that cap fits loose enough that it will actually allow grease around it, like you can see there, and allow it to come out if there is too much pressure in there. Some guys say that there was even a pinhole in those caps to let grease out if it would pressurize. Anyways, I just want to put that in there, and just to show my opinion of where I got the idea from. As always guys, thanks for watching, and please give the channel a like and a subscribe. If my videos interest you, please click on my channel and check out my other videos.